Hey everyone, I'm Daniel, and I'm here with Pax and Fylion from other videos on our channels, and I'm here to advertise a new run that we're all doing on Pax's channel, which is lovingly called the Scarlet Threes. And here's the conceit. We're going to be playing three different investigators, haha, three, all playing with the three stat lines. So we've got Amina, that's Pax. We've got Jenny, that's me. And Phylan, you're playing Wilson. We're going to talk a little bit about the run, the idea here, and the decks in this video. And then we're going to ask you to hop on over to Pax's channel to actually watch the first scenario of the Scarlet Keys, Scarlet Threes run. So, uh, Pax, you want to start kind of talking about like why we're doing this?
Yeah, so as everyone knows, because everyone's watched it, last year, well, I say last year, it probably was last year at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I finished publishing it this year, but um, we we played through the Return to the Circle Undone with tarot decks, trying to use the moon pendants and trying to get 6 moon pendants into play and committing tons of wild icons. And we thought, hey, what could we do as another like silly fun thing to try? And I don't remember which one of us cooked it up, but we decided on all trying out the solid 3 stat line characters. And someone said the Scarlet Threes, and it stuck, and it was just awful.
It was
So
me.
it was you, yeah, someone. Um, but but ultimately, like the characters that have like 3 stats flat across the line are like somewhat aptly maligned, but also maybe a little overly. Like, yes, it's harder, but
Mhm.
also, you know, it's in my opinion at least, it's perfectly fine for an investigator to be part of the difficulty tuning of the game. It just sucks for the people that are like really, uh, really passionate about a specific character's theme or character or whatever, and then they have like what feels like a bit of a subpar stat line. So it's not that I'm not sympathetic to that, but it's more that in my mind, when you're choosing a character that has threes flat against the board, you're accepting a weaker early game and a if you build your deck with the ability to boost your stats up, a really flexible late game. And I'm hoping that we'll find something kind of interesting like we did with the tarot cards, where I mean,
Mhm.
hopefully we all are able to spread the love.
Yeah, I don't think we're setting out in this campaign to go, oh, look, see, the 3 stat investigators are the best top tier investigators. Maybe we're more in the set of going in the vein of, hey, can we make this work?
Hmm.
Yep. It and especially, I mean, this is kind of part of the challenge is that this is a campaign that kind of asks you to pick a stat and be really good at it because you can do the concealed mini card thing, which we're going to lovingly call the CMCs for the rest of the recording and in the future. That you're able to use your intellect, your combat, your agility. And the campaign says pick one and use it all the time. And it turns out the benefit of having a flat stat line is you get to use everything. And suddenly the campaign says, no, you could just use one, makes it a little bit more difficult. So we're going to see how that
Mm.
goes.
Yep. Do we want to get into the deck lists now?
Yeah. So we're looking right now at the Wilson deck list, which is you file in. And yeah, I mean, we've got some stuff to talk about. What would you like to talk about here? His ability, I
Yeah,
guess, is
so
kind of on the front. We should mention, in case you haven't seen Wilson before, you've got reduce the resource cost of the first tool asset you play each round by one. You get +1 skill value during skill tests on tool assets, and then an elder sign that doesn't matter. Okay.
so the first thing I'll say is that his elder sign is +0, not a +1. And that does matter. Like, I can't draw an elder sign on a crypt chill and mysteriously pass it.
True.
So that's a little annoying.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so what I'm interested in is that second line of Wilson's ability. You get +1 skill value during skill tests on tool assets. Because if you leverage that right, his stat line's actually 4 for for 4. Well, I won't be doing will tests on those, but basically I can boost my other stats, which hopefully will work well with all the concealed tests I have to do. Beyond that, it's just kind of a nice little flex deck. Do I need to be just exposing things? Well, let's use the +2 on the Gravedigger Shovel, which gives no damage compression, but does swing at a base 6 for Wilson. Let's use that to expose things. Are there clues we need to pick up? Well, maybe I'm just investigating, but I've got Alice Luxley in there, and actually I'm really hoping that her reaction to discovering a clue means expose a CMC is going to pay off over the course of this campaign. And that is kind of the whole way I'm going with this is, the big mechanic of Scarlet Keys is concealed, so why don't I pick the things that are going to help me reveal the concealed stuff effectively as best I can.
Yeah, this Matchbox, really cool for that too. So that costs you...
I love Matchbox. It works on anyone.
Yeah, it costs you nothing, and it works for the whole turn. So if you fail on a concealed mini card test, then just keep at it. If you pass, maybe you need some clues after that. That seems really good.
Yeah. And then my big concern that we were talking about during deck building is how am I going to draw enough cards to actually put any kind of kit out. So that's why I've opted to take In the Thick of It just to start with the Stand Together upgraded, and I'll probably go very quickly into Backpack to try and hit all my assets as soon as I can.
Yeah, you go to level 0, but level 2 would really help get all those other items. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, so let's just move on to my deck. I think I'll go second. This is a Jenny Barnes deck. I thought about doing a parallel Jenny at one point, and then I decided not to, just because I like the idea of the 5 off-class cards, which, I mean, you already saw we're playing with Amina, so one of those cards is a Cat Mask, and we're going to do as much combat as we can with an all threes stat line, and then chip in with the other stats as best I can on off, and, kind of off turns, I suppose, if there's no enemies. So being able to get, a Cat Mask into play early, be able to get to 5 in 2 of those stats seems really good. Probably get to fill it up all the time. Unscrupulous Loan gets me a lot of money at the beginning, which, in my opinion, is the most important time for the money. Jenny's ability will basically give us the money to end up with at least 10 resources at the end of the scenario, which is what you're supposed to do. And the rest of it's just some guns, and I'm going to play with a few new cards from the new Drowned City set. We've got an off-class Remington, which is really nice with Sleight of Hand, if you want to do lots of damage. And then Where's the Party for maybe picking up a concealed enemy that doesn't come in concealed anymore. Same thing, I think, in your deck, Fylion, with the On the Hunt.
That is exactly right.
That also picks up a non-elite enemy that is a big one that I might actually want to kill. And then the last thing I'll just mention here, because otherwise I think the deck is pretty basic, is the Contemplative, which is another off-class card here for picking up concealed mini cards. So interestingly, the rules for concealed is that you get to replace per card an effect that deals a damage, discovers a clue, or evades an enemy. So this is actually a separate instance of discovering a clue. So unlike something like Deduction, which I could have put in here instead, which is an additional clue, you could investigate on your action with maybe a flashlight, maybe. If you succeed, then you could then expose a concealed mini card, but then you get to expose a second one with this Contemplative if I toss it at your test, even from a connecting location. That seems really good. And if not, just even extra clue would be pretty much worth it. That's me. Oh, I should also say, for added challenge, I'm taking the advanced Jenny's Twin 45s, which give you some money after you defeat an enemy using the ability on the card, which is up to the enemy's printed help. Really nice if you can make that work out. But it comes with Searching for Izzy, which is a pretty tough weakness, I think, even in her base version, but the advanced one is kind of nasty because it gives the location +2 shroud, which counts towards the concealed mini card exposing thing that we're trying to do. So I just want to make things extra spicy.
What's your plan for that?
A well connected.
Cool.
That's it.
Super.
Yep. Just thought we would make things interesting. You know, sometimes the game is too easy in 3-player, so I'm just making it interesting. Okay.
We love when you spring things like this on us. I never noticed that when you were sharing the list earlier.
It's his mental trauma, not ours.
Oh, man.
That is true. So like I don't actually mind the mental trauma a few times, but the +2 shroud affects everyone, so have fun with that, guys.
Ooh, yuck.
Yep. Okay. Let's move on to the Amina deck. And this is you, Pax.
Yeah, so the Amina deck is me trying to actually do the things that Amina says she does on the box. The big thing obviously is like, dowsing rod, Alyssa a living ink, a cat mask, a crystal pendulum. If nothing else, I should be able to investigate at like 4 to 5 pretty quickly, I'm hoping. So in terms of like doing stuff, it's like dowsing rod for clues, all those stat boosts, ineffable truth for evasion, with like the side kicker of the damage, and then the sickle for like little bits of damage when I need to contribute on that. I guess ultimately the deck is like trying to be a pure flex. I've got one hollow chalice just in case. I've got 2 scrolls of prophecies to try. I know that Wilson is a character that struggles with card draw, and I think that just like churning cards into him could pay off dividends.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I'm trying to do specifically with the deck that I've been wanting to do for a while is play Living Ink. And I've kind of got like a build idea built for it right now, which is take it with intellect at the level 0 choice, upgrade it into Shifting Ink, Macabre Depiction, and Imbued Ink for, I think that's 6 XP total. And what that lets me do is like pass the intellect bonus over to Wilson or Jenny for however many turns, so long as they aren't using arcane slots.
That's cool.
And then at a later time, I can also upgrade to get +1 combat. So I can basically just like hand you guys a stat for a bunch of turns.
Yeah.
So long as you're not using your arcane slots.
And Scarlet Keys is notorious for having tons of symbols in the bag, so I feel like getting that macabre depiction is not a bad
exactly
thing to do.
It's like the likelihood of it just staying on for the rest of the scenario, I think, ought to be pretty high. So for the rest of the deck, does not deny existence, word of protection. That's just like me trying to avoid dying to 5 health. The Moonlight Ritual. I remember having a thought once where I was like, do I play Moonlight Ritual in this deck or do I put in more economy? And then I was like, wait a minute. Moonlight Ritual is economy
Yeah.
with this assets. What am I talking about? And it's fast economy later if I upgrade it. And then just like 1 copy of Refine because I really want the Living Ink to pop off, but also like it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I like a 1 copy Refine. I don't like putting in 2 copies. And then just got some Perception. We want to pass tests.
Sounds good. All right. Well, this is the challenge. We've laid down the gauntlet. Can we actually get through the Scarlet Keys with all 3s? Probably, but we're going to try to do like extra well. We want to play all the cool scenarios and see how our decks like tackle these different challenges. I don't know which scenarios we're going to play. We're just going to go through and figure it out as we go along, but that's what we're going to do. It's going to be a fun time. I mean, even just playing any campaign with the 2 of you fellas is a good time. So please check it out over on Pax's channel right now, because that's where the first episode is. And we'll see you over there.
Ciao.